So we're away, and look at Rai Benjamin. He runs on the outside of his lane. That's probably a really well-practiced thing to make sure that he gets to the first hurdle with a good stride pattern. And just look how he goes down that back straight. He hardly looks like he's exerting any sort of energy. And he's almost overtook the whole of this field at the moment. And these are real world-class athletes behind him. A lot of these athletes are trying to get that World Championship qualification time. Benjamin it is then, approaching hurdle 8. He comes into the home straight. Kawakachi of Japan, he's actually having a really strong run there in second place. All the way to the line, the knees still really high, the arms working, 48.61 seconds.
I wonder if he was sticking to a stride pattern down that home straight. His cadence wasn't that high. You can see he was really working to maybe try and stick to his stride, and I don't know, yeah, you're right, it looked quite controlled, but it still looked quite hard, maybe a bit rusty at the start of the season. Great for Kurokara there, the young athlete, to get that opportunity to try and hang on to Rai Benjamin.
So a little bit of wobbling on the start line there from Urebi, but we got underway, no problems. These athletes are already spread out all across the track.
Look at that, 63 through the first 400. This is quick. For reference, 64 seconds is 4-minute pace, so they're moving at a really good clip here.
Loban, you can see her arm, she's really working hard. She's here for a time. Griffiths is still in there as well, which is great to see. Just over 3 minutes there at the bell. So to get inside 4 minutes, they would have to go sub 60 seconds, which is a tough ask, isn't it? Well, Griffiths there on the outside. Tanaka going really well on the inside, but Griffiths it is who hits the front, and she's stretching away. Fulton is following her. How close this could this be? Could there be some personal bests? I think there could. The meet record's gone. What time is it going to finish in? 4:06.05. Well, Georgia Griffiths will be pleased with that.
These men can navigate this steeplechase a bit smoother than that. 7.5 laps, 35 barriers. Is there going to be an unofficial pacemaker? We're looking for around about 2:47 through 1K, 5:34 through 2K. It would be brilliant to see these men attack that World Championship qualifying mark. But Moira here for me, I think he saw that 2-kilometre split. It was 5:40, that was a bit slower than they would have hoped for. Look at that, they need to close in 60 seconds if they're going to get that world qualifying mark. But Moira at the moment, full of running, stepping on that barrier, pushing off really well. He did well to hold that speed through the water jump, as did Philemon Rutu behind him, but I cannot see Philemon Rutu getting anywhere near Moira, the Japanese record holder, just powering off that last barrier. He looks like he could go another kilometre if he wanted. Could he just sneak under? No, he's going to be agonisingly a quarter of a second outside of that qualifying mark for the World Championships. But a win for Moira, a Japanese record holder, just 8:22 today.
Well, good start from most of the athletes. Ikeu had a really good start. Here comes Harrison though, and actually Cunningham's going really well in lane 2, but here's Harrison showing her class, showing her form, 12.76 seconds. Kendra Harrison just really started motoring, didn't she? And you can see how much speed, how much momentum she's still got going through that line. The strength is certainly there.
Was good on the board. That could be an improvement. Yamakawa likes it. Personal best is just 8 meters and 6 centimeters. So to be within 7 centimeters of that today already is good. Look at that technique on the landing. Measurement taken from the furthest mark you make back in that sand. Yamakawa scooching his body as far as he could. It's a personal best, 8 meters and 14 for Nasuki Yamakawa. Look what that means to him. could see Murataki so low in those blocks, and he has done well. He's powered his way to these first few hurdles, but keep your eye on Chen in lane 2 from Chinese Taipei. We've got Murataki in the middle. Can Murataki hold off the charge from either side? He can. It's a brilliant home victory for Rachid Murataki, 13:35. Not the fastest of times, it would be a season's best for him, but what a mature run. He got a fantastic start and held his composure through the race. He might not have been able to see Kairu Chen or Nicholas Hoch on his outside, but nonetheless, Rachid Murataki running a fantastic race to take that victory.
Well, it was a good, even start. Coleman it is now. What gear will he get into? Will he put his foot down? I think the answer is yes. When he looked across at the time at the end, and here from halfway, he really looked like he was motoring. Just that last few meters for me, he wasn't looking forwards, he was looking at the clock. There we go, little bit of strain. Maybe he's looked at those times, those early season times that have already been coming out.
It's the women's 200 meters. This went off slightly earlier in the program. Lena Irby and Angeline Anelis there in the middle. The two Americans in those black and white kits working really hard. We've got Justina Beecher, another American on the outside. So it's America 1, 2, 3 at the moment. Lena Irby using all of her 400 meter strength in those final stages to take the win in 23:10. Jacinta Beecher of Australia, apologies, not of the USA. Lena Irby, class of this field, she's got that 49.8 400 meter time from last season. So I was expecting her to finish strongly, but that was really something from Lena Irby there in lane 5. Anelis couldn't live with the pace of Irby and Beecher in those closing few meters. Great run from Jacinta Beecher of Australia. Set a personal best last week. She's been over in Japan for a few days, Jacinta Beecher, but backing that up with a great second place behind Lena Irby.
This is one of the other events that took place before we went on air, the men's 400 meters. The star attraction, as you would expect in a 400 meters, is in the center lanes, wearing that headband, as his compatriot and teammate Rai Benjamin was, Michael Norman of the USA. Well, such a difficult event to negotiate this 400 meters. How do you pace it? He looks like he's gone off really, really well there, trying to see who else is going out well. Just inside him, actually, Kawabata, the Japanese athlete's going well at this point. Seito as well from Japan, out in that difficult lane 8. He's kind of been disconnected from the race. He's coming through strong now, but all eyes have to be on Norman as he powers to the line. Seito just overtakes Kawabata, 44.63. Well, that's not a bad start, is it? I'd love to see some of the training sessions that Michael Norman and Ray Benjamin get to do. They work hard together. And 44.63 is first outing over the 400 meters. And just wrapping up that result, Michael Norman 44.62, Seito of Japan 45.40.